Last year I attended 3 pretty major conventions. Attendance numbers were in the thousands for each of them. Across the 3, I'd say there was a total of 10 tables you could sit at and play tabletop games. 5 of those were from one wargaming company alone. I wanted to introduce you to something different. Nestled in Galway, there's a club that once a year organises a convention solely dedicated to tabletop gaming. More than 100 sessions over 2 days. I have no idea how many different systems, I just know that there was stuff there I have never seen before, but I want to see again. This is AthventureCon. Athenry Adventures Club is part of the local YouthWork Ireland Youth Club. The weekend is part organised by the young people and the youth workers alike, and to say it's focused on TTRPG is putting it lightly. So you get your ticket for the weekend or for a day. For this year, tickets started at €10 all the way up to a staggering, drumroll please, €30 for the entire weekend. Just a little FYI too, if you are interested in going and staying for the weekend, the Lorray Hotel, where the convention is held, offers a full weekend specific package deal, so you save some cash. Get to spend it on that artist alley. So what does a weekend ticket get you? Well, you get access, of course, but you also then get to hop onto their website and see the vast selection of games they're running. We'll get into a look of the list of games later, but how it works is each game is listed. It will show the GM's name, a snippet of the story they want to run, what session numbers the game will be run at, 3 sessions per day. Each session is 3 hours across 2 days, so 6 sessions. You select which session you want from the drop-down. Bob's your uncle. You're added to the schedule, so you're scheduled for that table, for that game, for that session. Easy peasy. The tables. Okay, to give a brief, non-exhaustive list of games, you've got D&D 5th edition, Vampire the Masquerade 2nd edition, Pathfinder, both 1st and 2e, Honey Heist, the Fallout RPG, Starfinder, Fey Earth, Call of Cthulhu, Dungeon Call Classics, Stew Pot, Shadow Dark, Candela Obscura, Imperium Maledictum, Cat Overlords, Fate and Folly, Star Trek Adventures, 1st edition D&D, Portal Doom, Dagger Heart, Styx, Cyber Wars, Alice is Missing, and Dungeons & Dragons, to name but a few. The games were everything from D20 to coin flip systems to tarot-based games, which is a selection and a half, and the running joke for the entire weekend was, hey, you should try something other than 5e. The game masters running the tables were incredible. We had everything from the calm, cozy, sat down and relaxed DM to the loud animated shouting voices using all the ranges of DMness and that came dressed up as a druid or a witch. These folks were cooking. What stood out right away out to me after every session was that the people at the tables got up, they were really excited, and they'd like run over to their mates like just to talk and share about what happened at their table, how cool it was, and what they loved. How often do you hear about that happening? And personally think it's really, really cool. So the vibe. Is a buzz a vibe? The place was filled with folks sharing stories, DMs hooting and hollering, people in cosplay taking pictures at the arts alley, buying and selling. It was all so relaxed though. The main hall and alley were downstairs. Upstairs they had panel rooms, which I'll chat about in a bit, and quiet rooms. The quiet rooms still had games going. It was just all very chill, and I caught the start of one session in there where the DM asked folks just to set down their bags, get comfortable, take a second, and just breathe. It wasn't guided meditation or anything. He just said they were going to take a couple of minutes to lower their heart rate, absorb the room and its ambience, and let their minds ease. When you put that perspective of each session being a 3-hour gaming session, you aren't familiar with the game master, your new surroundings, and you know that whatever you're about to do, it must have a beginning, middle, and end, and likely the fact that you're playing with strangers as your allies for this game. I would personally really appreciate that care. And I choose that word specifically because it is exactly what it is. It's care. So serious kudos to whoever was running that session. Beyond the quiet rooms, we had the panels. These range from Baldur's Gate 3 principal narrative designer Lawrence Schick to building your characters, cosplay, and everything in between. We had Irish content creators running sessions and panels. These were gold, by the way. We had Mad Libs D&D, where the lads from Hearthfire Tales were having random folks roll dice to determine attributes for their characters, then having folks at the panel itself shout story beats like it was an improv show.
Give me a place that an adventure might start.
Dopes and Dragons held a TTRPG Jeopardy panel, which I mentioned because I won. Suck it, everybody. First place. Ben from Homebrew Quest held a TTRPG trial. It's like a courtroom thing where you take your little gripes that are at the table to the trial and air it out there. To round out the weekend, there was a cosplay masquerade. a historical European martial arts display by the wonderful Exiles of Galway, a Warhammer for Beginners panel, and Smash Brothers tournament. I want to take the last portion of this video to share some of my conversations with the incredible folks who organised AthventureCon. What's your name? And what are you doing here at the convention?
So my name is Anya. I am one of the committee members, one of the organisers, inventors. I think I came up with the name. That was my fault.
I'm Jonathan Wilson, and I'm part of the AthventureCon committee, and I primarily look after the GMs and the games room. So that's what I do. Yeah.
My name is Blaze. I am at AthventureCon because I am one of the youth leaders for the club, the Athenry Adventurers, which all the proceeds of AthventureCon goes to.
I'm Karen, and I'm one of the members of the committee who organises AthventureCon, but I'm also a leader in their club that we run for teenagers.
How did you get into tabletop role-playing?
So my brother played with his housemate, who incidentally is here, Brian Grimm Donnelly. You might come across him, and he invited me to a game. So in the drive on the way up, I was listening to a podcast about like how to play D&D because I had no idea. And that was my first dip in my toe. And then I found out that a friend of mine, a mom friend, who is Drew, another committee member, she's really into it. And she's like, oh, we can get a game going. We could get other people and get a game going. I was like, you're not going to get a group of mothers in their 30s to come play Dungeons and Dragons. It's not going to happen. You could call it board games and they might show up. They're not going to come play Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm very pleased to say I was absolutely proved wrong.
Oh God, I don't know how to answer this. Well, I was aware of GaelCon, which is a gaming convention in Dublin, and friends of mine play. So when AdventureCon set up for Athenry, which is where I live, I was like, oh great, I don't have to travel. I will go and see what it is. Perfect. So, yeah. AdventureCon, I suppose, my actual introduction.
It was 2018 when I was going through a bit of a rough patch with like school and stuff that I got into TTRPGs, specifically Dungeons and Dragons, and I had my own little group who I played with, including my mum, who is also a youth leader for the club. And I don't know, I just kind of always loved like using your imagination and role playing and stuff, and so it felt fitting to then continue on. Now I took a break from it for a while, and I'm not that like experienced in it, but I do enjoy it.
AdventureCon 1 that I went to was my first time to ever play D&D. I'd heard of it, I knew about it, some of my older children had played it, but it was, do you know what, I actually really like this.
I think the younger kids in particular, it's become, I would have been of a generation where, surprisingly enough, tabletop games were not cool. It was not a cool thing to say, I'm a gamer. You know, you would never go out and you see people walking down the streets today and they have D&D t-shirts on. That would never be, you know, you'd be running away from somebody if you were wearing a D&D t-shirt back in my day, like, you know. So I think the likes of Stranger Things and you know, shows like that have kind of popularised it to an extent. So you would have a wave of people, young kids, who are, it's perfectly normal, you know, it's a thing they got into as a young age. Their idols on the screen were doing it, and it's like, yeah, it's just cool. So it's way more mainstream now than it was before, and it's a good thing.
Do you think Irish people are innate storytellers?
There certainly is an element of that. Yeah, we love a good story. We love a good story, and I think there's a wannabe author in all of us, but we just don't have the talent maybe or the dedication to put it down on paper. So role-playing gives the opportunity to kind of wing with it, and it is, if you are a GM or if you are a DM or whatever, there is a sense, you do get a sense of pride when you write a story and your friends come back and say, geez, that was great, like I really enjoyed that, or how did you come up with this, or I love the way that worked, type thing. And it is, you are a storyteller. It's without the maybe dedication of getting up every day and writing for 4 hours, but you know, that's effectively what you're doing, and it does appeal to the Irishness in us.
I feel that a lot of them take really well, but there is quite an intersection of like the neurodivergent and queer communities and TTRPGs. So I find that those kinds of people take it really well, whereas some like neurotypical, like there's people in my college course who I was telling about this, because I'm doing youth work, so obviously we have to do work experience, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm working with a club who plays like D&D, and they were like, what's that? Like, what is that? I have no idea. And I was like, you don't understand D&D? And then when I explained it, they were still kind of like, oh my god, that's so lame. And I was just like, it's really not if you get into it.
I didn't realise how big it was. And I'll give you a laugh. So the first time I went to AdventureCon, a lot of local, it's a local area. The amount of people that I met, it was like coming out of the closet for something. I didn't know you like this. What are you doing here? And that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, you like games. And it really opened it up to, there's a lot of people in our area who play games. And so now I meet one group every second Sunday night. We go to the local pub and we play it. The pub owner is hilarious. He just keeps, what is it you're doing? Sure. We've failed to explain it to him, but he just lets us get on with it and that. Yeah. And then I've started to branch into doing a little bit online, because we have a Ukrainian girl living with us, and her husband is a GM, and so we've played online with them, and it's like, oh, there's a world outside. It's great, and I'm loving that idea. Although I'm still a bit nervous about online, to be honest.
I
love the face-to-face.
It's nothing really trumps it, but it is good.
Yeah.
It's to be substitute. At the likes of AthventureCon, what would you like them to know about, from your perspective of it?
About
just
TTRPGs,
or just about organising the convention itself?
Okay, because we are all volunteers, this is all a labour of love. We want to highlight what the young people do and what they contribute. So everything that we do is like, okay, so how can we get them involved? How can we make this about them? How will this benefit them? And the way that I looked at it, my background was from a youth theatre perspective. So I would have run a lot of youth theatres, and every year our big show would be the big thing, or you would bring them to a theatre festival. I was like, well, if this is a group of TTRPG kids, we said, what is the perfect thing that we could do? A Comic-Con, a convention, something, so we were like a TTRPG convention. And that's what we wanted for them. We wanted them to have exposure to that community and dip the toe into that community and kind of find their way in, but within kind of safe constraints of what it is, that it's still under the guise of Youth Work Ireland and Athenry Adventurers, and it's a safe and accessible way to bridge that gap and help people into the community as young people. And that was kind of our motivation for what the con would be. And the community is just so welcoming and so interested and invested, and that's how it's grown. It's grown because everybody has just hopped right on board and said, yes, please, this is something that we want. This appeals to us, because it's not for profit. We're doing it. I say it's a fundraiser, but there are better ways to make money. We could go pack bags in Tesco and we would make possibly more money, but it isn't about making the money. It is about getting them to meet Lawrence Schick and Doug Kaufman and play the latest TTRPG system with Cubicle 7 and Old Oak Games, and to interact with these people that they wouldn't otherwise have a chance to do. Because if you wanted to line up a workshop or a game with any of these people for just the club members, it would cost you a fortune to hire these people to come in to do it. So we just made it an event, and it happened all at the event naturally. So there.
As vast as the game or a tabletop gaming crowd is in Ireland, there's many people, there's many creators that are even starting up and discovering. They all seem to have just leapt on AthventureCon. It's like, this is the one we're all hopping to.
I love it. Why has that happened? I don't understand, but yes, it has. I feel it, and there's such a buzz. And everybody's like, oh, that's the one we want to go to. Vendors are lining up. We opened up our vendor application in the summer, and we had to close it after like 2 weeks. It was full. People want to be here, and they want to get involved, and it's shocking, baffling, wonderful. Yeah,
that's
absolutely
great.
Wonderful.
Oh, it's great. It's great to see.
When there's a convention that celebrates something I resonate with, something I actively engage with every day, I aim to celebrate the heck out of it. This is the West of Ireland's rapidly growing premier tabletop gaming event, and I say event because, yes, it is a convention, but that almost dilutes what it is. See, other conventions I've been to over the past year have had creator panels, showcases, brand stands, military sign-up booths, barely related niche talks, and very little hobby exploration. That's not AthventureCon. AthventureCon is more than 100 tables with more than 60 RPG systems. It is at its very core tabletop gaming. My only gripe is that it's only once a year. But I will be back next year. Take care, folks. Do check it out, and all the links will be in the doobly-doo below. Have a great day.